What kind of person throws a disabled teenager's life SAVYing meal in the trash just to keep up appearances? That's the question I was forced to grapple with when a petty HOA tyrant decided my daughter's health was less important than her perfect picnic aesthetic. Let me take you back to that day in Willow Creek, Portland, where a single act of cruelty sparked a reckoning that changed our community forever. I'm Dr. Michael Carter, Director of the County Health Department. 3 months ago, my 16-year-old daughter, Lily, and I moved to Willow Creek, hoping for a fresh start. Lily has Crohn's disease and severe food allergies, which means her diet is a carefully curated lifeline. She's a fighter, a straight-A student, a coding wizard, and a fierce advocate for invisible disabilities. After my wife, Sarah, died in a car crash 4 years ago, Lily and I became a team, mastering her condition together, tracking flare-ups, prepping safe meals, and finding ways to keep her included despite her restrictions. Willow Creek seemed like the perfect place to rebuild a picturesque neighborhood with manicured lawns, riverside trails, and a tight-knit vibe. The real estate agent raved about the community's social scene, and I thought it'd help Lily make friends. What they didn't mention was Patricia Hayes, the HOA president who ruled like a queen in a suburban dictatorship. Patricia, in her mid-50s, had a sleek brunette bob and eyes that judged you before you spoke. She'd been HOA president for 6 years, unchallenged after her opponents were buried under violation notices and social exile. Our first run-in came at a Welcome Neighbors coffee event. I brought Lily along with her herbal tea and gluten-free, dairy-free snacks in a small container. We provide refreshments for everyone saw, Patricia announced, her voice carrying across the room as Lily unpacked her food. The way she said outside food made it sound like we'd smuggled in roadkill. Lily has Crohn's and allergies, I explained calmly. She needs specific foods to avoid flare-ups. Patricia's smile didn't budge, but her gaze turned icy. Well, we hope her condition won't disrupt our community standards. Standards? What did that even mean? I let it slide, chalking it up to her being awkward. But Patricia's passive-aggressive jabs kept coming. She cited us for leaving Lily's medical delivery boxes on the porch for 4 hours, even though the HOA rules allowed same-day pickup. She griped about the custom grips we added to Lily's bike for her joint pain, called them unapproved modifications. Annoying, but we dealt with worse. Then came the Willow Creek summer picnic, and that's when everything went south. The picnic was held in the community park, a gorgeous spot with stone grills and tables by the river. About 80 neighbors showed up, kids playing tag, adults gossiping, and a potluck spread of burgers and hot dogs overseen by Patricia's committee. I'd cleared it with the event coordinator, Claire Thompson, to bring Lily's special meal. Claire, a kind woman with wavy red hair and a son who had allergies, got it. We want everyone included, she'd said warmly. So, we packed Lily's meal, her roasted chicken, low-FODMAP veggies, and quinoa salad in a container covered with bright stickers to make it feel festive. You've got nothing to be ashamed of, I told Lily as we headed to the park. Your body just works differently. She rolled her eyes with that teenage smirk. Dad, I've been at this since I was 8. The picnic was buzzing when we arrived. We claimed a table, set down Lily's medication cooler and meal, and I went to drop off my fruit salad at the potluck. I was chatting with Tom Reynolds, a neighbor on the Regional Health Advisory Board, when I heard a commotion. My stomach dropped. I rushed back to find Patricia holding Lily's container like it was radioactive, her face twisted in disgust. Lily sat there, cheeks red, looking humiliated. We cannot have this kind of food out where everyone can see, Patricia was saying, loud enough for half the park to hear. It's unappetizing and ruins the vibe we're curating. Lily's voice was soft but steady. It's my medical diet. I have Crohn's and allergies. Patricia waved her off, her manicured nails flashing. Everyone's got some special needs these days, but we prioritize the community experience. I was almost there when Patricia turned and deliberately dropped Lily's meal into a trash can. The crowd gasped. The community has pro-VY dead plenty of options, she said, pointing to the potluck table, which was a minefield of foods that could land Lily in the ER. Time slowed. I saw the hurt in Lily's eyes, the tears she was fighting. What the hell are you doing? I demanded, reaching the table. Patricia flinched but recovered fast. Maintaining our standards, Dr. Carter. That food was an eyesore next to our curated spread. I fought to keep my voice steady. That was her medically necessary meal. She can't eat your food without risking a severe reaction. Patricia shrugged. There's fruit. Water. She'll serve YV one afternoon. The rest of us shouldn't have to look at that during a celebration. Something in me shifted in outrage, but the cold focus I'd honed in crisis situations. Mrs. Hayes, I said quietly, do you realize you've just discriminated against a person with a disability? Lily's condition is protected under the ADA. She rolled her eyes. Don't be dramatic. It's one meal. I stepped closer. It's also a food safety violation to tamper with someone's medical diet. Let me introduce myself properly, Dr. Michael Carter, Director of the County Health Department. Her face went white. The what? The agency that enforces food safety at events like this, I said. The one that could shut this picnic down with a single call if I see unsafe practices. A crowd had gathered, and I noticed Claire holding her phone, subtly recording. Patricia stammered, You're overreacting. It was one container that didn't fit our theme. Tom stepped up. Actually, as a Health Ed board member, I can confirm tampering with a medical diet is serious. I've had concerns about food safety at HOA events for years. Patricia's eyes darted around, realizing she was cornered. Then a kid's voice cut through Claire's son, Ethan, who had peanut allergies. You mocked my EpiPen last month, said I was faking it. Patricia sputtered, I never, but Claire held up her phone. I've got that recorded too. I started documenting after you ignored my warnings about cross-contamination at the bake sale. The crowd erupted in murmurs. You said my daughter's gluten intolerance was for attention, one woman shouted. You served shrimp at the holiday party with no labels after I told you about my allergy, another added. Patricia's authority crumbled as the accusations piled up. I turned to Lily, who was shrinking in her chair, mortified. You okay? I whispered. She nodded barely. I'm fine. Just hungry. That broke me. Hungry, after all this. I faced Patricia again, who was trying to rally. This is blown out of proportion. If Lily needed accommodations, there are forms. Claire cut in. We did follow protocol. I approved their request. You overrode me without asking. I raised a hand. Here's the plan. First, I'm taking Lily home for a proper meal. Second, as health director, I'm inspecting all HOA food practices, starting with this event. Third, I want a written apology to Lily by tomorrow morning. Patricia's jaw tightened. You can't. Oh, I can, I said. Cooperate, or I'll have a health team here in an hour to shut this down. As we left, neighbors approached, offering support. Tom vowed to push new HOA rules. Claire hugged Lily, whispering something that made her smile faintly. But that night, the stress and missed meal triggered a flare-up. Lily's joints ached, her stomach cramped, and by midnight she had a fever. I rushed her to the ER for 4 fluids and meds. As I sat by her hospital bed, my phone buzzed with messages from neighbors. One stood out, from Nathan Hayes, Patricia's son. Dr. Carter, I heard what my mom did. I'm a chef specializing in allergen-free diets. I'm horrified and want to help. The next morning, after Lily was discharged, we found our porch overflowing with care-packaged gluten-free treats, flowers, cards. Claire dropped off a thumb drive with 2 years of videos documenting Patricia's discriminatory behavior, or not just about food but against anyone with health issues. I was too scared to use these, she admitted. But Lily changed that. I sent a health team to inspect the HOA's kitchen. They found expired products, cross-contamination risks, and no allergen protocols enough to halt all food events. When the report went public, residents were livid at the negligence. At the special HOA meeting a week later, the community center was packed. I presented a plan for food safety and disability accommodations, backed by experts. Patricia slunk in late, avoiding my gaze. The board chair, Judge Henry Walsh, opened the floor. To everyone's shock, Patricia stood. She looked different, no makeup, no jewelry, just a plain dress. "I owe this community an apology," she said, her voice shaky. "Especially to Lily Carter. I thought I was upholding standards, but I was wrong. I've been cruel, discriminatory, and dangerous." She paused, swallowing hard. "My son Nathan is a chef for medical diets. I mocked his career, called it niche. He hasn't spoken to me in a year. When he heard about Lily, he called to say he was ashamed of me." The room was silent. "I'm resigning as HOA president," she continued, "but I'm pledging due law 5,000 to make this community inclusive." Scattered applause followed, not forgiveness, but acknowledgement. The meeting moved forward. Claire was elected president, and we formed committees for new policies. Over the next months, Willow Creek transformed. The kitchen was revamped, events had allergen labels, and an accessibility audit fixed barriers. Lily, meanwhile, poured her energy into her coding project, an app called OpenBite, helping people with dietary needs find safe meals. She even recruited Nathan, who contributed recipes. 6 months later, Willow Creek hosted a health fair featuring Lily's app, Nathan's cooking demos, and disability education booths. My department praised the HOA's turnaround. I saw Patricia there, lingering on the edges. To my surprise, Lily wheeled over to her, showing her the app. Later, she explained, "She's trying to reconnect with Nathan. This gives them a starting point." That night, as we watched the sunset, Lily asked, "Dad, can people really change?" I thought hard. "I think they can shift when they face real consequences. Whether it's deep change or just adapting, it's the impact that counts." She nodded. Patricia didn't see us as people before, just problems messing up her perfect image. Now she sees us. Maybe not fully, but enough. One thoughtless act, tossing Lily's meal, ignited a revolution in Willow Creek. It exposed a tyrant, united a community, and showed my daughter her voice could move mountains. Sometimes, it takes a crisis to force change, and in our case, it made us stronger.